I have not learned from any place other than the fact that I took a personality test about 19 years ago. How many of you have taken a personality test? Okay. Majority of this room. So did I. What happened to me when I was 20, taking this personality test, so I went, oh, there's 4 different types of people. And that was really trippy. Unfortunately, the test kind of confused me in a lot of places because I didn't understand a lot of the words that, it gives you the 4 words and you try to, So I came out of taking that test and I began to study people. What you're going to get from me today is the years that I have been studying people, working with people, and I'm going to give you my understanding of what we call gems. This concept of gems, the reason why I picked gems is because I believe every single person has incredible qualities in them. But each gem, even by the very nature of a gem, how they're found is they're found ugly, number one. And through refinement, they are made to be beautiful and of great value. By the time we're done with this whole hour and a half, you will be able to figure out who you are and where you're supposed to be. Okay, so don't worry about anything. Just relax. It's going to be very simple. The main thing is you're going to physically see what each gem looks like, body language, what they sound like, all that kind of stuff. So the first gem, and make your piece of paper look like this, is a sapphire. Okay, and those are them. Perfect demonstration. A sapphire is somebody that is motivated by fun. They are the life of the party, and they're always having parties. They're always around a lot of people, okay? That's a sapphire. They're motivated by fun, having a good time. If you feel that is you, put an X in the sapphire box. The next is a pearl. A real true pearl is someone that typically recycles. They are the ones that want to save the whales and the humans. Tree huggers. Do you understand? Each gem who's been refined wants to help humanity. They do it in completely different ways. A pearl is more of a one-to-one, making a contribution one-to-one. Okay, and I'll talk to them about them a little bit in a minute. So, if you're a real pearl, then do that. Over here is an emerald. And an emerald is, to them, everything is fact-based. They love statistics, black or white. There is no gray area. Very analytical. Then over here is a ruby. Now, a ruby is somebody that is motivated by a challenge. They are very driven. They have to learn how to drive in the right places and to tone it down a little bit on cruise control. But anyway, so those are them. So whatever one that you feel that you are, put an X in that box, okay? We're going to be moving this room. We are first going to pick a place to start. Now, that's always the big quandary, but I pretty much know where I'm going to start. And see, the emeralds, the way the emeralds are, and you want to write everything down that I'm saying. The emeralds don't care where I start as long as I just pick a place in a timely and efficient manner. And my pearls over here, they also don't care where I start. It's okay with them, no matter where it is I decide to start. And they want to know if I would like a back rub or a foot massage. They've been thinking about, oh, poor Danny. Gosh, I hope her voice lasts. Okay, that's over here. And you see, the rubies, they've always got to be first. They always, always, always have got to be first. Their whole life has been about being first. But see, that's one very small level of leadership. And this is why it says that he who must be first must first be last. And why? Because that's a higher level of leadership, of raising up other people to win. So, yes, it has been a hard lesson for me to learn as well. So we're going to start, of course, with the funnest, most exciting. In this way for a reason, because each one that you are connected to, okay, by your corners, is a natural crossover in the personality. So it's very natural for a ruby to have their dominant first one, but their secondary would be a sapphire or an emerald. Okay, it goes one of two ways. Okay, and then a natural for the sapphire is either a sapphire ruby or a sapphire pearl. Pearl is either pearl sapphire, which is just a little bit more louder than most pearls. That's all. Who have a little bit of a wild side once in a while. Okay? Either that or they cross over pearl emerald. What is not natural is emerald sapphire. And what also is not normal is ruby pearl. Because they're opposites. They're, direct opposites. However, there's many of you that were reared up by a dominant parent who have one personality, tried to groom you, not being your natural personality, to be the opposite of yourself. This information I'm about to give you is so powerful. Please pay very close attention. This is going to help you with your spouse. This is going to help you with your children. This is going to help you in your careers. This is going to help you in whatever profession it is that you have. It's going to help you close more sales and make more money. So let's start over here. Typically with clothing, you're going to see what is super trendy. So in whatever is hip, whatever is hot is what they're going to wear. This is where you're going to see a lot of fun hair colors, fun hair styles. Of course, we've got a faux hawk right here in the front row, and he's not in high school. So this is a sapphire. Okay, with the goatee, that's like a typical sapphire. You would never see a faux hawk on an emerald. Okay, you understand? Okay, so this is where you see lots of bling. Lots of bling on the women, lots of heavier, fun makeup, bright pink lipstick, bright red lipsticks, things like that. And you know what? You just have to stand up for me because this is just perfect. Come on, baby doll. Look at that. We got dreads, man. We got dreads. Which is awesome. Trendy jewelry, trendy clothing, fun shoes, just everything that stands out. It's everything about what stands out in the crowd. How many of you are like that? Okay, this is something that's very interesting. Their life organization is not their key element. It's not their key strength, okay? Organization is not the key strength. They really could care less about it, to be honest with you. And when it comes to organization, in fact, it's very interesting. They're also not really ever on time. In fact, check this out. Most of them have their watches set 10 minutes to 30 minutes in advance, and still very often are late. But at least they're trying. Okay, very enthusiastic, and they love to take risks. It totally comes natural to them that they are taking risks. And so when it's an act now, that is that's like their middle name. Oh my gosh. Now, emeralds, if you notice, I did not say, Ryan, can you please put on some dance music so we can watch the sapphires dance? I did not give them a signal. All that happened was the beat hit, and all of a sudden they just could not help themselves. Because this is how you were made. This is how you were designed. And this is how you are supposed to be until you die. That's it. And your whole life, people have tried to change you. Their entire lives, people have tried to make them sit down and shut up. Ain't happening, man. Ain't happening. That's right. Ain't gonna happen. That is not what they were made to do. That's what they were made to do. Not them. They don't have a design. Dumb them out and to dumb them out. They are the visionaries of the world. They are the motivators of the world. They are the people that keep in touch with people their entire lives. These people still have friends from kindergarten. They're still hanging out with people from high school. That's the truth. That's who they are since 3 years old. Friends since 3 years old. That is the way they were made. Not those guys. No. Okay. Not the rubies. It's not. Which means they are phenomenal with relationship. They value people. They value relationships. And the truth is, people love being around them. People love being around sapphires. Why? They are alive. They are alive. And we live right now in a society, my friends, that we are handing drugs to children that are sapphires because the school system does not understand that each kid was built differently and there are strengths and weaknesses to all four personalities, and so they give them these drugs to try to turn them into an emerald or a pearl. Why? Because those are great students. They are not. How many of you have spent time in the principal's office? And the emeralds, did you see this? They're proud about it. They are proud that they spent time in the principal's office. How many of you have been in detention too many times to count? How many of you have ever gotten a speeding ticket? Do you want to know why? Because inside of them, they believe that rules were meant to be. And over here, with our emeralds, they believe that rules were meant to be followed. Knee-jerk reaction. They finished my sentence before I was done. You waited for your cue. They're spontaneous. They cast vision. People follow them. They breathe life. They're a natural-born optimist. Natural-born optimist. That's how it works for them. They don't see the bad in people. They just see the good. How many of you can use some of that in your life? Yes. They see the good. That's naturally what they see. Their mind doesn't always go to what's going to be bad and what's going to be wrong. It naturally always goes to what's good. God wired you that way. That's the way He made you. That's the way you're supposed to be. Don't try to change that. That's not to say that it's good to have an emerald in your life, because they will prepare for the storm that is coming. Who here, you know that you are an extreme sapphire? Like, there's just not anything else in you. Okay, we'll do this. Okay. Say your name in the mic.
My name's Chris Hanley.
Okay, Chris. So what I'm going to do is use the very simple, they want to see you, so they want you to stand up. Okay, cool. You are a student, and what are you learning? What are you studying?
I'm in international marketing right now.
Really?
Really?
That's cool. So tell me what about your work history? What type of work do you enjoy?
I really like working with people. A lot of my past jobs haven't necessarily been that way, unless you count being a bag boy. I mean, I've done a lot of traditional, like, carpentry and stuff like that, but other than that, that's why I want to do marketing.
Tell me what you like about marketing.
The people interaction, I like the idea of constantly having to do something different. I hate schedules. I hate having to go places. Classes are ridiculous. I'm done. Send me to Japan and pay me to have a good time.
Okay, so there you go. This is what they sound like. This is what they do. So again, what he's studying has to do with people, because that's a natural attraction for sapphires. They enjoy working with people, and they like they like variety. They like things changing all the time. They don't like consistent schedules and consistent routines and all of that. There's just something in there that says, I have to break out of this, because it's bondage to them. Consistent schedules and routines are complete bondage to these guys. And so just know that as you work with these people, as you have children that are sapphires, as you have employees that are Sapphires, you need to understand something about them. They have phenomenal strengths. Phenomenal strengths. They're the best promoters on the planet, number one. The best promoters. They are also great delegators, number two. They're great delegators, okay? They are great at organizing a party. Organizing an event. They can do that. They love to organize events, and they will make sure that it is all perfect. And they will have a ton of people at that thing, and everything will be all thought out about it. Now, that is to say, so they have the ability to be organized, but it has to be fun. Do you understand? So they do have that ability to organize what is fun. They don't like organizing boring. Okay, so that's not their deal. If you notice, he instantly started talking about what he doesn't like about schedules and, all of that kind of stuff. So that is a need that he would have. Okay, now watch. I'm going to go through just real quickly. And by the way, testimonials work the absolute best with a sapphire. Absolute best with a sapphire. These sapphires actually have spiritual gifts according to the book of Romans and the book of Corinthians. Your spiritual gift, as it talks about in that book, one of them is to motivate. That's an actual spiritual gift. Isn't that wild? It's a gift of the Spirit, is motivation. Another gift of the Spirit is encouragement. You have those gifts, okay? So you make sure the more you use those gifts, the more they're going to be given right back to you, okay? They also enjoy lots of presents and spontaneous presents. They enjoy that, okay? In fact, we sent a couple of them, some of our consistent clients who've really helped us in talking to a lot of people about DannyJohnson.com. We sent them, chocolates in December, and they loved that. They absolutely loved that. And they made sure it said something to us about it. That's their gift. The way that they try to convince people to do something is, trust me, it works. That's their method of trying to get somebody to do. Trust me, man. Trust me. Now, what's so interesting about that is that never works with an emerald. Never works with an emerald. The trust me, it works thing, no way. They want the documentation. They want all the facts and all the steps and all the methods and all the procedures and then the policies and then the ingredients. Okay, you have infectious laughter. You're an initiator. You're a fire starter is what you do. You love to start projects. You need to hire somebody else to help you finish them. Because finishing a product doesn't come natural for you. So you have to surround yourself with other people's strengths in areas where you have weaknesses. And so typically a sapphire just kind of goes through life hoping someday they might grow up into one of them. Because that's what they've been told their whole life. Why aren't you more like them? No, hire somebody else to do it for you. Or trade. Trade. They need help promoting. Trust me. They need help promoting. You don't. But you need organization. The interesting thing about a sapphire marrying an emerald, it's really interesting how that happened. Because all their life, okay, they've gotten in trouble for something. They just have, hand slap, shut your mouth, duct tape on the mouth, put your nose in the corner. I mean, this is just what they've had to, it is, it's what they've gone through. And it's sad and unfortunate because if parents had any idea how to motivate their sapphire child, they'd pull the best out of their child. I have one of my 5 children that is a sapphire. And he keeps his room cleaner than all the rest of the children. How's that? How did that happen? Because he's been trained up to do it, not with condemnation, but by motivating him with fun. Yes, they love recognition. They love recognition. They will work for recognition far more than they will ever work for money. They're way more motivated by that than anything else. And so I know that about my sapphire child. And so he gets an amazing amount of recognition and encouragement for doing the things that I ask him to do. I make a big deal out of it when his room is clean. They also like teamwork. These are natural born team players, which shows you, man, great strengths for business, amazing strengths for raising a family. And so my son, I've motivated him through recognition and encouragement to clean his room. And he started doing it at 2 years old. Got him while he was young. And so you start training them up like that, and they're like major kudos. Rewards, they'll do anything for a reward. So it's very easy to motivate a sapphire. Very, very easy. These are are the people, by the way, that some of you emeralds have been sitting by, that whenever somebody, whenever Hans or I said something, they're like, ah! And you're like, hello. Okay? And not only that, it's so hilarious, they think they're the only one in the room. So like when I ask a question, yes. Isn't that awesome? Because that's what you are. They're verbal. And by the way, they're verbal processors. They do not analyze to make up their mind. They actually, they don't think with their heads. They don't think with their minds. They think with their mouths. All right? They think with their mouths. They hate missing out. You need to keep that information for yourself. They hate missing out. Okay, anyway, I could keep going on you guys, but I really do gotta move, okay? Thank you so much for your time. Keep the life, keep the fire, keep the motivation, and keep that enthusiasm. Don't ever let that thing go out. It's what you were born to do. Okay, look at these precious pearls. Now, the pearls, they're very similar to our sapphires. They're very, very similar. And the similarity is this. They love people. And they are always around people as well. And they have also had maintained relationships since they were 3 years old as well. They have all those long-term relationships, and they have all the pictures. They have all the pictures from that time. Okay? The difference is that they are not extreme with everything. And so I like to call it almost like sapphire light. They like people, they like parties, but see, the pearl's idea of a party is actually a potluck at the house. Either that or a wonderful, exquisite meal by candlelight, really blessing somebody with some homemade goods. There, the sapphire's idea of a party is a kegger with some pizza. Okay, it's the one that the cops always have to close down. How many of you have had Super Bowl parties? Do you see what I mean? It's just to say that you're just not as loud. You're not as extreme. You're not as bold as they are. You're not as flamboyant. But you have very similars in your personality. And so some of those are you love people with everything that you got inside of you. You love people, and you were made to do that. You're very loyal. The pearl is very loyal people. These are your most loyal clients. These are your most loyal business partners. These are great people to go into business with because you can count on their word. They are people of their word, and it takes a lot for them to not be loyal. It takes a lot. I mean, you really, really have to really do something really bad in order for them to not be loyal to you. And you probably have to do it 300 times. Right? Isn't that true? How many of you have been stepped on, walked on, pushed and shoved and doormatted many times? Yes. Help me, Lord. Yeah, that has happened far too many times, okay? And I'm going to tell you why in a little bit. They're more sensitive. They're very non-demanding, calm, cool, and more collected. They avoid confrontation with everything they have. They hate confrontation. They put up with being taken advantage of just for the sake of not having to confront the issue. That's the main thing, which is very sad. And I want to be able to help to equip you with the knowledge and the skill set to be able to make confrontation where it doesn't put anybody on the defense. It does not create a heated discussion where it does not make anybody take sides, but you'll be equipped where it actually builds a relationship more intimately instead of destroying the relationship. That's the whole reason why you don't like to confront, because you don't want to destroy a relationship. That's how valuable relationships are to you. But really, the reason why you get taken advantage of and usury is very strong against you guys is because you're always willing to help. You're always willing to help. These are the folks in every organization, religious and non, and every family. These are always the first to show up, the last to leave. They're always the first to offer up a giving hand to help. Always. And guess what? You can count on them. You can count on them. You can count on them. Do you know how beautiful that is? They are very, very dependable. Do you know that is a rare quality? It really is. It really is a rare quality. They don't like change. Mm-mm. But you know what? They won't complain about it to your face because they don't like confrontation. So they'll just go ahead and adapt. They'll just go ahead and adapt because they don't want to confront the issue. So they'll just go, okay, fine. Clothing typically is very comfortable. They like natural fibers. So they're going to wear natural cottons and wools and things like that. They do not like anything binding. Belts, don't need them. No. Elastic, love it. Yoga pants, live in them. Right? Okay. You also see that hair, we don't see a lot of damaged hair amongst the pearls. Okay, you don't see a lot of damaged hair. You're gonna let they don't want to bleach their hair because it can ruin it. And they also like to use natural products, natural shampoos, natural cleansers, natural facial stuff. They spend a lot of time in the health food store. Yes, it's like the second trip to the grocery store. Organic. Any of you organics type people? Any of you have a garden over here? Yes, planting a garden is so relaxing. And the food. I remember when I planted my first garden with tomatoes and chili peppers and rosemary and basil. Oh man, I made so much pesto and the tomatoes. I was just floored on how the taste. Have you guys ever noticed when you eat a tomato in a hotel, it does not have any taste? Isn't that horrible? And so you also like orchards. You want to grow your own fruit because there's just there's not even, you can't even compare the difference of the fruit of the grocery store and the fruit off your own tree. Isn't that so true? Yeah. Okay. They're very thoughtful and very sympathetic. Very nurturing and so patient. These, my friends, are the best listeners, and these pearls are the people that are your best friends for life. Most, like easy listening music. Can you just feel the atmosphere change instantly? Isn't that beautiful? Like, did you feel your heart rate go down a little bit? Does anyone have a lighter? Let's go ahead and have a real quick, let me form one of you guys and just have a real quick conversation with you guys so that we can really help everybody else in the world understand you. Just like I am. Okay. So, tell us what your name is.
Hi, Danny. I'm Susan.
Hi, Susan. So nice to meet you.
Great to meet you, too.
Good to see you. Okay, so tell us, what do you do?
I go to all of the Air Force bases in the world, and I ensure that the quality of life for our families and children are up to standard.
There you go.
In my spare time, I'm also
A volunteer?
becoming a naturopathic physician.
Oh, no way. So how many of you can guess what her crossover is? How many of you can guess what the crossover is? It's an emerald. She's a pearl emerald. Okay? Yes. Which is so, now again, she inspects military bases to make sure the quality of the life for the families is good. And she's studying to become a
Naturopathic physician.
good for you. Now tell me, what do you like about what you're currently doing?
The children.
You like the children? What do you like about them?
Well, I raised 7 myself, and so they're all grown, and so I miss them having around the house. So when I go to the Air Force bases, I just kind of adopt them all.
That's so great.
And I get to interview them to make sure that the people that are taking care of them at the Air Force base are treating them well.
Look at that precious smile. Look over there. It's a sweet smile. Okay, so, all right, so you love the children.
I do love the children. I get annoyed at the staff members, but
You do? Tell me why.
because we have these really easy rules about being nice and talking with the families and children, and sometimes they just talk to each other.
Isn't that sad?
Makes me mad.
It's terrible. How did you ever get in that profession?
Oh, you don't even want to go there because I had tried like 400 other things first. And I worked for a company for, 9 years and 11 months and 27 days, and I was getting really close to tenure. And they laid me off.
And oh, that
And so then I went to work for a big company, and I worked there like 5 years, and I had this really great 401k, except that they went bankrupt. And so I was like 50, penniless, because I had given everything away. And so I decided I needed to find a company that would not go bankrupt for the next 15 years, and one that would be almost impossible to get laid off from. And so I
Makes sense.
so right now the government is my living, but the business is my future.
That's right.
And I'm a Pearl, and so what I learned from the last time I was here, that I need to stop giving all of my product away.
That's right. Let's ask. Let's see, okay? How many of you Pearls give your product away for free or at a discount? You are bright red. You are just so called on the carpet on that one. Okay, now isn't that hilarious? Okay, now watch this. How many of you have gone into debt not because you purchased things for yourself, but because you've lent people money that has never been paid back to you? Okay, thank you so much. You go ahead and sit down. You did awesome. I need to tell you something about that, okay? Please hear me, and please hear my heart. I want to see you succeed. And I've watched more people that are Pearls be taken advantage of because of usury, because of not having the skill to be able to gracefully and in a way of restoration confront an issue with other people. That skill is so powerful, so wonderful, so beautiful, and restoration is really what your heart's after. And so the truth is that if you possess that skill, you would not have a problem with really helping other people to succeed. Because anytime you're going to pull the best out in other people, you're going to have to confront some issues with them. And here's what you have that is so amazing. People trust you. They know that you do not have anybody else's best interest in mind than theirs. Because that's how you are wired. In fact, your spiritual gifts are mercy. You are showers of mercy, which is in Corinthians and Romans. You're showers of mercy. That's a spiritual gift from heaven. And you also have a gift of service. You love to serve. You don't even have to be asked. You are natural at finding needs and filling them. It just comes natural. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to be asked to do it. In fact, oftentimes, these are the people that never say, is there something I can help you with? If they see a need, they're just going to help you with it. That is so beautiful. Why? Because they really have a heart to want to help. Isn't that awesome? But you have one challenge with people, and your heart is to pull the best out in them. And by the way, rubies, you need to take note of this. They are not motivated by money at all. Nothing about money motivates them. They are motivated by a cause. And what we just saw right here was a perfect example. Wants to make sure that those families that are serving on the front lines, that those women and children that are left home are taken care of. That is a cause. When it comes to giving your products away, let me just show you. Here's the part. I want you to expand your thinking. You see, we get used to instant gratification. Even you Pearls are a victim of instant gratification. And let me tell you how and why. The reason how you are is because you like the way it feels to help somebody else. That is self-service. You like the way it feels when somebody that is broke calls you, begging you for money, and you like the way it feels when you hand them the money. But how many of you have given money to the same people over and over and over again, never to be paid back? What you've done with those people is you've actually hurt those people. You've hurt them. Because you know they call you with a sob story and they are saying, I can't buy milk for the baby. Why can't they buy milk for the baby? Because they spent their money on something stupid, knowing you would give them the milk money. So this is not helping them. It makes you feel good to hand it over. But who is the issue here? They are the issue, not you. So I want you to steer away from self-service, because you get a rush out of helping them. And it's your natural gift to help them. But guess what? The word comfort and the comforter in the scriptures has a different meaning than most of you think. The word comfort means to come alongside, not to take the problem away. Quit trying to be God. You understand? Quit trying to be God. It's not your job. Your shoulders are not strong enough, no matter how strong and how wise you are. Those people need to deal with their own consequences, and you're standing in the way of those consequences, training them. You are free not to bow down to that manipulation anymore. You need to help where they're willing to help themselves. I have lots of stories I can tell you in my personal family where that's the stance I've taken, and they have been set free from it. But as we continue to give to people who just took and didn't change, they stayed the same. It's only when you give from truly a heart that wants to help them, not for the day, but for their life. Are you with me? Okay, so that is one thing I'm going to encourage you to. So charge full price for your products, because how many of you have noticed the people that you have given a discount or given it away for free never used it? How many of you have that happen? They never use it. Why? There's no value in it. Now, you gave it away for free because you really want them to use it. Well, then make sure they pay full price. Because if they put out the $100 for it, what happens? They're going to make sure they use it. Now, here's where you have such a great benefit. You're trustworthy, you're honest, you're loyal. So they know that you are not out for the money. They know that. And you believe in what you do. You have strong conviction in what you do. So that is all working for you. You don't have to cut corners to get the job done and to impact the person's life. It's best for them to make the investment into the value so they use it, so they get blessed. It's best for those that you have stood in the way of their consequences. It's best for them to have to deal with the consequences of their bad choices and their willpower being set on what's wrong instead of right, because that's the only way they're going to learn. Correction is what teaches. Spare the rod, spoil the child. Many of you have stood in the way of the rod. Get out of the way. Get out of the way. It's for the longer term is what you're after. Their life being transformed and changed is what you're after. Not your instant gratification if I help somebody. Get excited about helping somebody's whole life being turned around. Not just eating today. And by the way, remember I said they're not motivated by money, they're motivated by a cause. So they're motivated by that one person that maybe they've come in contact with, or that family member or a friend or a referral that is suffering financially and just was laid off from a job, and he has 4 kids at home and has no way to provide for them. And that if you were the one person that introduced them to a chance to be independent and to be able to provide for that family, look at the impact. Well, now those 4 kids are being raised in a completely different environment, and that father now is teaching his children, listen, there's more to life than just a job. I want to teach you how to be able to make your own job. Look at the lifestyle difference. Look at the possible divorce that didn't happen because of the problem with the finances. Look at all the big impact that you have just with the little opportunity that you have in your hands. It's huge. Absolutely huge. How many of you, that motivates you? That's it. Cool. So I need to move on to the emerald so that we can make sure, because right now they're breathing down my back and they've been timing me on each section. Yes, I need to give them equal time and make sure that I am ending the seminar, at a reasonable hour. Midnight is not what they're after.